This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. No empty symbolism. Prime Minister responds to talks about Jamaica becoming a republic. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has responded to the clamor for Jamaica to remove the British monarch as head of state and establish itself as republic, saying he is not interested in pursuing empty symbolism. He made the comments on Thursday afternoon at the official opening of Ocean Eden Bay Hotel in Trelawney. Mr. Holness noted the fact that as Jamaica approaches its 60th year of independence, a lot of discussion has been generated regarding its status as a nation. He said that the questions would be addressed shortly. But Mr. Holness suggested he would like to see Jamaica accomplish certain things before declaring itself free of the Queen.
The nation is as the nation does. And there are some people who want to speak prosperity into being, speak sovereignty and independence into being. My philosophy is that we must do these things into being. We must make them happen. There must not be empty symbolism. It must be genuine. It is what we are in our actions and in our achievements and what we have done. So I am building towards the aspiration. So having said what I have said in very vague terms, but I'm certain those who have ears to hear those vague terms will understand them until it is time for us to have that full and direct discourse, which that process has started. For our 60th year, we need to see an institute that is going to train persons in entertainment and culture, so that the offerings are not just unidimensional, so that our local persons who are naturally talented, naturally gifted, can be exposed to a wide variety of other forms and areas of entertainment that they themselves can become professionals in. And I think the tourism industry could give Jamaica this as a gift for our 60th year.
Portland businessman Beachy Stout remanded again. Everton Beachy Stout MacDonald, the Portland businessman who is charged with the murder of his wife and ex-spouse, was remanded when he appeared in the Home Circuit Court on Thursday. The court was told that Mr. MacDonald, who had been without a legal representation, is now represented by attorney Earl Hamilton in relation to the murder of his second wife, Tonya, on October 8, 2020. Mr. MacDonald and his co-accused Oscar Barnes are charged in connection with the case. However, Mr. MacDonald is unrepresented in respect to the murder of his first wife, Marlene, in May 2009. The businessman was charged after investigators reopened the case last year. He is to return to court on February 3 to have his legal representation settled. Oscar Barnes, who was offered bail in the sum of $500,000 in May, is to return to court on December 20 for his proposed address to be verified. Mr. Barnes' attorney Ernest Davis, who complained that the police did not comply with a September 23 court order to have the address verified, said his client's mother died and he wants to attend the funeral. Mr. Davis said he sent the proposed address via email to the Major Investigation Division on 3 occasions in keeping with the court order. The court was told that the investigating officer received an email on December 2 containing the address. At least 3 alternative addresses have been proposed for Mr. Barnes to reside. NRSC concerned about high number of road fatalities. With 3 weeks remaining in 2021, the National Road Safety Council has raised alarm at the high number of road fatalities this year. Dr. Lucien Jones, vice chairman of the NRSC, told the news that the death toll is now 439. Of that figure, 149 were motorcyclists, which is an increase from the 133 recorded last year. Dr. Jones added that 83 private motor drivers have died so far this year, compared to 63 at this time last year. He revealed that this year's figures show private motorcar drivers were dying at the same rate as pedestrians, a first for Jamaica.
In that mix, 149 motorcyclists have died, a significant jump from last year, 133. Also, which is new for this year, the number of private motorcar drivers, 83 have died for the year so far, compared to 62 the year before. We don't normally have private motorcar drivers dying at the same level as pedestrians, but this year for the first time, this has happened.
Jota driver on drug charge gets a $500,000 bail. A Jota driver arrested following the seizure of more than US $29,000 worth of cocaine was granted $500,000 bail when he appeared in the Manchester Parish Court. Kirk Lewis, a 45-year-old Manchester resident, charged in connection with the seizure of 1.3 pounds of the drug on November 24, 2021, was granted bail with 1 or 2 sureties. He will return to court on February 11. Lewis is charged with possession of, dealing and trafficking cocaine, as well as conspiracy. Allegations are that about 6:35 p.m., detectives from the Narcotics Division intercepted a white Honda Accord motorcar along the New Green Main Road in Manchester with the accused aboard. The police said the car was searched and the cocaine, which has an estimated street value of US $29,450, was found in a bag. Lewis was taken into custody and, following investigations, was slapped with the charges. Melrose Park finally reopened. After awaiting almost 4 months to resume making a living, vendors at Melrose Park have been permitted to reopen their stalls following approval by the local health authority. Speaking at yesterday's monthly sitting of the Manchester Municipal Corporation, Chief Executive Officer Winston Palmer said most of the vendors are expected to return to the facility, which had been closed in August for health breaches. Other vendors are putting a few loose ends together with respect to license and other health requirements that they are putting in place. Based on what is happening now, by this weekend, most of the operators or vendors at the Yam Park will be up and running, he said. He disclosed that bar operators at the park have also been granted approval to reopen. He commended the Manchester Health Department for its assistance with the technical matters. The last meeting that the Health Department and the Council had with the vendors, that went very well, and they understood why it is important to have certain things in place so that the health of the public can be protected, Palmer said, adding that the facility will be monitored on a regular basis with the help of the Health Department. Mayor of Mandeville Donovan Mitchell commended the staff at the municipal corporation. We had to give up some things to facilitate the reopening. We understand as leaders what it is for people not to be going on with their livelihood, and we are appealing to the vendors to take care of it, he said. The municipality, Mitchell said, is working on a maintenance schedule for the Yam Park to make sure we don't go back to where we are coming from, because sometimes we just overlook some things, and at the end of the day it costs us more to remedy than anything else. He insisted that only vendors who have met the stipulations of the health department will be allowed to operate at the park. I want to apologize to the persons that have waited so long, but to also note that only the persons who have met the criteria in terms of their food handler's permit, going to the training, and all that is laid out in the document that we got from the health department as to what they are to do will go back there, he said. Until they have met the criteria, then they won't enter, he added. Vendors told the news recently that among the requirements outlined by the health department is for vendors to have a metal or granite top tables, foot pedal operated bins, sanitizer and hand washing material in their stalls, and wear aprons and hair nets. Mitchell said all but one shop had been renovated at the facility due to non-compliance. The person refused to give up the keys so that the necessary work could be done. The order is that the shop is to remain closed, and as a matter of fact, the directive was given for an additional padlock to be placed on it until the health inspector have had the opportunity to go in the shop, he said. Carrie Douglas assault trial to continue on January 13 next year. Jamaica Labour Party councillor for the Trafalgar Division in St. Andrew, Carrie Douglas, is scheduled to return to the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on January 13 next year for the continuation of her trial on assault and obstruction charges. The 37-year-old councillor was arrested and slapped with charges on February 26, stemming from an incident that reportedly occurred during a police operation in Swallowfield, St. Andrew. Allegations are that on the day in question, about 8:30 p.m., the police responded to a gathering in the community half an hour into the then island-wide curfew when Douglas allegedly used her vehicle to block the police from arresting an alleged offender. Douglas, as an elected official, is among the category of people exempt from the curfew. It is also been alleged that during the incident, Douglas hit one of the cops. Following the incident, she turned up at the stadium police, where she was arrested and charged and later granted bail. On Monday, she appeared in court and her bail was further extended for her to return for the continuation of the trial next year. The prosecution has completed its case and the defense is to mount its case. Attorney-at-law Peter Champagny QC is representing Douglas. In September 2020, prosecutors withdrew a charge against Douglas for breaching the Disaster Risk Management Act. The charge had stemmed from an incident in April in which it was alleged that she became boisterous when she was stopped by the police along Meadowbrook Avenue in St. Andrew. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.